just leaving Neurofeedback, and so this was my first session in over a week. I went in, it was supposed to be last Tuesday, so a week from today. Last week it was supposed to have been an appointment, but scheduling got mixed up, miscommunication, and I actually was not on the schedule like I thought I was. So that was actually a huge good thing for me, whereas former Louise of days of yore would have really gotten down and out about it, been really frustrated, been like throwing the baby out with the bathwater type situation of well, now the whole day, you know, that kind of thing. Because it is, I mean, like, it's a 30 plus minute drive from where I am out to Neurofeedback. So, you know, it was a good chunk of my day, a big chunk of the morning last week. And so I'd gone in. So really, like, I'll drop Liv off at school, and then it's only a quick 20-minute jaunt from her school out here. So I don't go all the way back home just to come back out in a little bit. I just come straight out here. And so, like, last Tuesday, I had like an hour to kill. So I got some Starbucks, and then it was kind of chilly, so I sat in my car in the parking lot, and I used that hour to study. I'm going for now that I have my National Academy of Sports Medicine certification as a personal trainer. I passed that test and have been, you know, implementing that and gaining clients and really, really loving that. My next step is my certified nutrition coach test that comes up in March, late March. I have to take that test. Anyway, so I sat in my car, and luckily, like, from my phone, I'm able to access the online textbook that, you know, I need to be going through. So I spent my time well. I listened to some of the audiobook that me and my friends doing a little book club were reading, so I got some of that listened to, and I studied in my car. And then I go in for my 11 o'clock appointment, and he pokes his head out and is like, "I don't have you on the schedule." And I was like, oh. And so I was like, okay, well, then I will see you today. So I was like, I'll see you. You have me down for the 18th? And he was like, yes, I do. And I was like, okay. And so I, you know, kind of had a moment of like, oh, I mean, I'm here, but I got studying in that I would not have gotten in probably otherwise sitting at home, because there's too many other things that are distractions at home. So being out here in my car gave me the opportunity to be like, you know, I'm captive right now to my circumstance of where I am. I'm going to take this time to study. So I used that time well. I got a big chunk of that audiobook I'd been wanting to listen to on the drive there, the drive back. So I really, you know, just learning to, like, pivot and be flexible and amenable to change, like, as is life, right? So Stephen was very apologetic today. So this is the first time I saw him after that. And he emailed me, like, right away. He checked his schedule, or, like, our emails back and forth correspondence, and he was like, you know what, you had totally requested that day, and I had confirmed, and then I completely just didn't put it on the schedule. I'm so sorry. And I was like, hey, it's, you know, I was able to pivot and still get a lot done today. Please don't stress about it. Like, thank you for the apology, and, you know, here we go, move on. We're human beings. We all make mistakes. Like, it is what it is. So anyway, today was just like, again, I'm so sorry. And I was like, thank you. I really thank you, but it's okay. Like, it's okay. And he's like, something I've learned in my life is, as soon as you realize that you're in the wrong of something, apologize. Just throw it out there. And I mean, it's so true. And I love that. Instead of holding on to it or wanting to, like, well, you know, you didn't follow up, you know, anything that might be like a deflection or anything like that. That's something that I would have done in the past. And so now, like, that really rang true to me, because especially, like, apologizing when you did something, especially, like, to Olivia, especially to kids, I think it's really easy to not do that. And so there are often, it's like yesterday, I was helping her get her jammies off, and they were stuck on their footy jammies, and so they were stuck on her foot, and I was trying to help her get them off, and she was trying to, like, lift each leg out, so I put my foot on the rest of the jammy that was already on the ground, and then she, like, fell forward on her knees, and I was like, oh, babe, I am so sorry. That was, an accident. That was not what I intended to happen. I thought you would continue to step out of them. I'm really sorry. That was my fault. I'm really sorry. And she was like, it's okay, mommy. Like, everybody has accidents. Like, she started to like say things like that, like acknowledging that like that was unintentional. It's okay. I'll be all right. Like, thank you for apologizing. So anyway, I love that. So today's session, it's been over like a week and a half, and it went really well. It went really well. I did the things that I've been doing as far as acknowledging when when I'm blinking and it's gonna spike there, and then, okay, cool, that is what it is. Let's just stay focused and like really doing my best to stay present in the moment, in the show. Awesome. This is what, like, I'm really following the plot of the characters. Like, it's the Jetsons, you know what I mean? Like, today's episode, Astro, the dog, apparently had a former owner. Who knew? And the former owner was trying to like get Astro back. And I got through a huge chunk of the episode, so oftentimes I'm not getting all the way through the episode. I think maybe only, I don't even know if one time. I know I've gotten to the end of the episode, but I think it's because we started into it a little ways, so I didn't like rewatch it. But anyway, it was almost at the very end of the episode, meaning there were many fewer disruptions within my anxiety marker spiking that would pause the video, right? So today was focusing on, okay, if I felt tension starting to rise, or I felt myself blinking too much, or like too much spit in my mouth, maybe like, okay, I would take a deep breath, and in my mind I would say, I can and I will. My brain is learning. I'm so proud of myself. I would say those things, and then I would remind I didn't really look up at the clock at all today to see how much time I had left. I think I looked once, and there were like 5 minutes left, and I was like, okay, great. But it was so much more of I'm going to shift back into the show. I'm feeling my mind wander. Shift back and really focus on what's happening in the show. Like, all that is expected of me right now is to watch the Jetsons. Just watch the show. That's it. And releasing myself from the expectation that I should be doing something else, or that I should be making faster progress, or anything like that. Just releasing that, letting that go. Physiology, just trying to be as relaxed and unclenched as possible. And it went well. It went really well. I enjoyed the episode of the Jetsons I saw today. Like, it was good. So he came in and he was like, how are you feeling? I said, I'm feeling good. I feel good. And he looked at the graph today based on where I was today with the readings of it. And he said, I did a great job. And I'm like, oh, fantastic. And so he's pointing things out. So he can show me the chart of the graph of things from last time. And there were 2 markers that he was checking that were very like up and down and jagged and all over the place last time I was there, which was, I believe, the 5th, I think was the last time I was there, and today's the 18th. Oh man, so it's been a hot second since I was there. I was just mathing in my head as I said the dates aloud. But anyway, and then he showed me today, and they were so much more even keel, and like, so that's fantastic news. We talked about how having run the half marathon and having that under my belt, and just the endorphin high of still having that success definitely impacted it in a positive way, but also just I had a great meal before I went. I exercised this morning. I got up and trained a client, and then did my workout all before I got live up from bedtime. Anyway, and it felt very I felt very in control of the day in a healthy way, not in a way that's like I must control this, but in a I've planned ahead. I'm gonna roll with it. It might change and I may need to adapt, but these are the things that I'm gonna accomplish today. I can and I will, and I did. Anyway, and then he was showing me the yellow. You probably heard me talk about the yellow one before. So the yellow marker, I believe it's called high beta. That was the one that when I very first began these sessions he showed me how high it was. And he said, when we began this, you were at kind of a low to mid-grade fight or flight constantly. That was where that anxiety marker was. And now, from today, it was at he said under 5 is what we hope for. And that's in like a pretty good range. That's what we're hoping for. But today, you were at like 3.59 on that anxiety marker. He's like, that is exceptional. Not just for someone struggling with anxiety, for anyone. And like, I could have cried, tell you what. I actually sat back and said, hot damn. And then if I asked him, I was like, okay, well, do we think that's an anomaly? Is that, and he's like, well, the good thing is that we know you can do it. Your brain can do it. It has learned and it is doing that. So even if next time it goes up slightly or it goes down more, like whatever, we know you can do it. Now is that reinforcement learning of continuing it. But I'm so happy with that. I'm so proud. He was so excited that we were able to get that anxiety marker from me at a constant state of low grade fight or flight all the time down to a place that I can calm my mind and my anxiety based on my brain learning these new neural pathways. I'm astounded. I'm so proud of myself for putting in the time and the effort and the energy and the work to do the things to help my brain learn